In this video, you're going to learn some of the composition techniques used in a National Geographic photo story. I'm going to share with you why composition is key to creating powerful and impactful photos, and how you can use these same techniques to level up your photography. Hi, my name is Sean Gallagher. I'm a professional photographer and filmmaker. If you're new to my channel, welcome. For the past 20 years, I've been producing work for clients including National Geographic, The Guardian, and the Pulitzer Center. Here on my channel, I want to share with you some of the things that I've learned throughout my career to try to help you improve your own images. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the composition techniques that I used in my photo story titled Jakarta, the Sinking City, which was published with National Geographic Online in 2013. I love playing with composition as a way to increase the impact of my images, and I want to share with you some of the traditional and non-traditional techniques that I used in some of the photos that went into this photo essay. Okay, let's get started with the first image from the photo essay and composition technique number 1. The rule of thirds is one of the most basic principles in photography composition, and I'm going to assume that most of you have heard of this technique before. However, the rule of thirds is something that we should look at again and review, because it's a technique and principle that many professional photojournalists and photographers also use in their images. Have a look at this image from the National Geographic story. So I decided to frame the woman off to the left so that I could give a sense of her surroundings and where she lived. You'll notice that when we divide the frame into the classic thirds of the rule of thirds, she falls exactly on the bottom left intersection, giving this quite pleasing composition. I used the same technique in this image of a boy looking out onto his destroyed home after some flooding in Jakarta. I composed the frame to make sure I got all of the home and the damage in, then aimed to get the boy on the top right point for the rule of thirds. So even though it's a basic technique, it's really important to remember the rule of thirds because it often forms the basis of a great photo. A frame in a frame is one of my favorite composition techniques. The aim of this technique is to use other elements within your viewfinder to create a frame that focuses your viewer's attention on the main subject matter. Those elements that create your second frame within your photograph might be something as simple as a door or a window, or you could get even more creative and use the way that lines fall in the frame to create that second frame. In this image, my focus was on a cat in the bottom center of the frame, but I wanted to find a way to draw the viewer to it. I was aware of the lines at the sides of the buildings helping draw the viewer's gaze, but it was the frame in the middle that helped subtly highlight the cat. If we go back to our image of the boy in his destroyed home, you can also see how I used a literal door frame to highlight where the boy was. The rule of thirds plus the frame in a frame was quite a powerful combination in this image. By playing with composition, you're actually only limited by your imagination. So keep in mind looking out for doors and windows to use as frames, but also use your imagination and look out for other types of frames that you can use within your photograph to make your compositions more interesting. Strong shapes are fundamental to our perception of the scenes that we're looking at. And in photography, even something as simple as the use of a circle or a square can really help draw your viewer's attention to something that you want them to see within the photograph. I noticed a fisherman gathering up his catch for the day. I noticed that this square plastic sheet was turned to the side from my perspective to form this strong diamond shape. I also noticed he was waving flies away from the fish, so I kind of offset them to the left and luckily caught his hand as it was passing to the right. In this image, I'm again directly above the subject looking down, but this time I'm focused on the strong circles. Again, they help draw the viewer's attention first to the washing bowl and then to the plate with the woman's hand. So when you're next out taking photos, look out for shapes, strong shapes, and how you can use them to help draw your viewer's attention to what you want them to see. When you're able to do this, you're going to start creating even more powerful compositions. Another simple composition technique that can be used to strong effect is to have your main subject matter centered right in the middle of the frame. Having your subject in this position makes it very clear where your viewer should be looking. There is a risk, however, of this technique being a little bit obvious and maybe boring. So you have to pay special attention to what's happening around your subject in other parts of the frame. In this image, you can see that the center focus is clearly on the man in the middle of the frame cleaning up trash from a river. You'll also notice I'm shooting through some vegetation and tilting the camera slightly to make sure the center framing isn't too boring. In this image, the man is also centered in the middle, with your eyes being drawn to the back of his head in the center. However, you're quite quickly drawn to what he was looking at, the polluted river. So if you decide to use a center focus in your composition, pay special attention to what is happening around the subject. This way you can avoid making a boring image and keep creating images that hold your viewer's attention. One of the most interesting things that you can do with composition is to lead your viewer's attention through an image and make them think and feel different things. Diminishing perspectives have the really interesting ability of leading both the eye and the mind in a photo. So you draw your viewer's attention to what they should be looking at, but also to what they should be thinking about. In this image, I was stood on a bridge overlooking a river in central Jakarta. In the background, I spotted this beautiful white shopping mall, sat in contrast to the polluted river in the foreground. I decided to try to use the leading lines and diminishing perspective of the river as it flowed away from me. By doing this, your eyes are naturally drawn along the river towards the shopping mall in the distance. In this image of a flooded section of Jakarta's port area, you can see how the diminishing perspective of the flooded road takes your eyes from foreground to the background. Rivers and roads, especially within landscapes, are really effective for using the diminishing perspectives technique. But don't just be limited to rivers and roads. Keep your eyes out for other ways in which you can use diminishing perspectives, as they really add depth to your photographs and make for much more interesting compositions. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I love using composition as a way to make more interesting and memorable images. You'll notice that many of the images actually combine not just one, but multiple different composition techniques. And that's one of the beauties of playing with composition, is you can combine the different techniques to make more powerful and strong images. If you're just getting started with these techniques, I suggest picking one of them and going out and trying to practice it again and again. Once you've done it long enough, many of these techniques will become second nature to you, and you won't even think about them when you're next out taking photographs. If you've made it this far in the video, I'd like to invite you to join my online communities. I have one on WhatsApp and one on WeChat. And in these groups, people from my community share their images, give feedback to each other on those images, and I also enter the conversation as a way to help improve your photography. To join these communities, all you need to do is download my new ebook titled The Camera Doesn't Matter. In this new ebook, I reveal some of the secrets of professional photography that I know will help you improve your images. Simply visit my website via the link in the description, scroll down, enter your details, and choose between the full version or the free version. At the end of the ebook, there'll be QR codes that you can scan to join the community. Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments section below. I'll see you in the next video.